Have you ever waited so long for a promise that you started wondering if it would ever happen? In Genesis chapters 18 through 21, we walk through some of the most emotional, raw, and powerful moments in Abraham's journey. God visits Abraham again. He brings a promise that seems too late. Cities are judged, people are rescued, and laughter is born in the unlikeliest place. This isn't just ancient history, it's a mirror, showing us God's faithfulness, even when we struggle to believe. Let's walk this journey slowly, reflectively, and expectantly. 3 visitors arrive, and one of them is the Lord. Abraham welcomes them, and they bring a message. Sarah will have a son within a year. Sarah, listening from the tent, laughs, not because she's joyful, but because she doesn't believe it's still possible. And God hears her laughter. Then he asks, "Is anything too hard for the Lord?" That question has echoed through generations, and it still echoes into our doubts today. Have you ever laughed inwardly at something God promised, thinking, "That's impossible now"? That's where Sarah was, and maybe that's where you've been too. But God isn't bound by time. He doesn't forget. He fulfills in His perfect timing. Later in the chapter, God reveals His plan to destroy Sodom, and Abraham steps into bold prayer. He asks, "If there are 50 righteous, will you spare the city?" Then 45, 40, 30, all the way down to 10. Abraham wasn't trying to change God's mind. He was interceding, standing in the gap, pleading for mercy. Do you pray like that? For others? For your city? For the lost? 2 angels arrive in Sodom. Lot welcomes them. But the wickedness of the city shows up fast. The people surround the house. God's judgment is coming, but so is His mercy. The angels literally grab Lot's family and pull them out. Still, Lot hesitates. His wife looks back, and the city is destroyed in fire. Lot escapes with his daughters into the mountains. But fear leads them into a desperate and tragic decision. They act out of hopelessness and give birth to Moab and Ammon, 2 nations that will one day oppose Israel. It's a warning. When we act out of fear and compromise what we know is right, the consequences often go farther than we expect. In the next chapter, Abraham slips back into an old habit. He lies again, saying Sarah is his sister. King Abimelech almost takes her for himself, but God steps in and warns him in a dream. Even the father of faith had weak moments, but God's mercy protects him again. Do you ever fall back into patterns God already freed you from? Even then, He doesn't walk away. And finally, in Genesis 21, the promise arrives. Isaac is born. Sarah laughs again. But this time, it's not from doubt. It's from pure joy. She says, "God has brought me laughter." This is the kind of laughter that only comes when the impossible becomes reality. But the story doesn't end there. Conflict rises between Sarah and Hagar. Tension builds, and eventually Hagar and Ishmael are sent away, alone, forgotten, abandoned in the wilderness, but not to God. Once again, He sees Hagar, He provides, He speaks, He gives her hope. Because God is not just the God of Abraham, He is the God who sees the hurting. These chapters are raw, they're layered, they're full of emotion. They show us a holy God who judges sin, but also a compassionate Father who rescues and restores. He keeps promises, He hears prayers, He saves, He redeems. So pause for a moment and ask yourself, where am I still doubting God's timing? Where am I lingering in something He told me to leave behind? Who has God placed on my heart to intercede for? Let this study remind you of this simple truth. God is still writing your story, and nothing is too hard for Him.